Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome. I have been requested to do a custom order of a necklace, and I thought that I would just come on here and show you some of the basics while I was doing it, since I already need to make it. The pendant that was chosen is this heart, and it is an acrylic druzy. It's really pretty. So we are going to be making that. I have already strung one side of the necklace, but basically we're going to start out with 2 strands of 16 inches of beading wire, or tiger tail, however you want to call it. We are going to need some beads. I'm doing some 11-0 seed beads and some 10 seed beads. I have some eye pins to make the V in the necklace, some crimp tubes. We have some wire guards. They're these little horseshoe shaped things, and then some some crimp covers. I'm going to do the dangle. I haven't decided yet. I guess we'll figure it out when we get there. Either the heart or the circle. Just kind of play with it and see how it looks. I think what we're going to do is start with the pendant portion, and what I'm going to do here is just string on a seed bead, one of these flat faceted rounds, another of the seed beads, and these seed beads are silver lined, and I like using them in these kinds of projects because it just adds some sparkle to them. This is the rice shaped, another seed bead, another rice, another seed bead, another one of these flats, and then finally a seed bead. And we are going to make 2 of these. We want the loop to be opposite so the necklace lays correctly. So we're going to take our pliers, put it up against the bead. Because I want it opposite, I'm going to turn this so it's at a 90. And then I am going to take my round nose pliers. Actually, I want to show you this new little fun tool that I got. These are the one-step loopers. They make these amazing little loops so easily. And so what I'm going to do, pull that back down there, put this up against, you need to be careful that you don't crack your glass beads. And you just want to squeeze, and it automatically cuts and loops. Now, because I had that so close, it's not closed, so I will take my pliers and I will straighten that out and pull that down. So we have the closed loop. Now, you don't have to have And if this turns, you can take a second pair of pliers, grab a hold of your loop, and see, just turn these so they're at a 90-degree angle. And we're going to use that. We are actually going to grab a pair of round nose pliers and do the same thing with just, in case you don't have the one step. Sorry, I'm over here digging them out of my drawer. So you can actually do the same thing with just the round nose pliers. So we're going to repeat that pattern for the other side. That out of the way. We need a seed bead, a flat, a seed bead, a rice, a seed bead, another rice, didn't want to go on, another seed bead, another seed bead, another rice, and then another seed bead. And some of these don't want to go on this wire, but that's okay. So we have the same thing. So what we're going to do here, there again, turn this so you go the opposite direction, bend it down, and at this point what I want to do is take my flesh cutters. I'm just going to snip a little bit of that off. Make sure that you hold this so it doesn't go flying. And then you're going to take your round nose, hold on to that. Maybe it's going to give me fits. And just roll it. Hold, turn, and then you can grab that end and pull it in and just maneuver it into the loop. So what I like to do at this point is take my pliers, straighten it up a little bit, maneuver it down. I may have cut just a little bit too much off, but that's okay. And so we have our second element. Next thing we're going to do, just another quick technique here. If you have never strung beads on the tiger tail or beading wire, you want to use a crimp. They have crimp beads, crimp tubes. I'm going to put on a crimp tube. Then I'm going to put on a wire guard, and you want to slide it through the first tube. You're going to, let me get it so you can see, wrap it around that horseshoe shape and put the other end into the other side, the other tube. So what you have at this point is this metal piece is going to keep your wire from rubbing. Then we're going to slide that down into the crimp tube, slide it up against, and I like to just hold it with my fingers so it's separate. You can use your regular pliers and smash it flat, or you can use a crimp plier I like to give this just a little smush so it sets up there higher. Now these, we're going to start with the first groove, and when that closes, it's going to crimp your tube. So we're going to make sure that this wire is not, see how it's coming out there? We don't want that. We want it tight up against there. So I'm going to push it tight up against there. Grab this in the first groove and just give it a little pinch. And so, turn that over for you. It just gave it the little pinch. I am going to grab the other end of that, make sure I get that good there. So it's basically crimped that around. Now you want to turn it to a 90-degree angle, set it in the next groove, and that is going to pinch that down. And I like to turn it over and do it again on the next one. So give that a tug, make sure it's tight. And that is how you secure the end of a tiger tail. I wanted to do that with nothing on it so you could see all the pieces. So our next thing that we're going to do with this is what is a crimp cover. And this, you just want to slide over that tube that you just crimped. So you have this, and at that point, you just want to take your pliers and squeeze that in. You can use your tube portion, and it closes it. So you have a bead covering that crimp tube. And now we're ready to start stringing on the beads. So we are going to start, I've already set up the pattern that I want to do. I'm going to do one of the rondelles. I'm going to do the hematite colored seed bead. I'm going to do one of the tube beads, another hematite, another rondelle, a hematite, another rice shaped, another hematite, another rondelle, and then we're going to use two of the silver lined. One of these flat beads, two of the silver lined, and then another rondelle. And this is going to be our pattern for the necklace. So I've already strung one side. I'm just going to set that up there. So this is what one side looks like. So I'm going to continue stringing this And when you slide these down, I just want to point out, down here, you can slide a couple of beads over this wire if they will fit. If they don't, that's quite okay. You can cut your extra piece off. Let me get these out of the way. So we are going to go back to our pattern. We're going to do, we have the rondelle, so we have the hematite. Be helpful if we had more beads here. Let's get some beads out here. We have the hematite, the rice shape, the hematite, the rondelle, the hematite, another rice shape, another hematite, another rondelle, and this is where we're going to go to our flat beads. So we want 2 of the silver lined, the flat bead, 2 of the silver lined, and then another rondelle. And I think the silver lined seed beads actually make the facets and the sparkle in these beads stand out more. And I wanted to kind of accent that, which is why I put that in there. So we have our hematite, our rice, our hematite, rondelle, hematite, rice, hematite, rondelle, and now we're ready for another one of the flat beads. So we're going to do 2 silver lined, the flat bead, 2 silver lined, and another rondelle. And we are going to do this pattern for 12 inches for each side. So I'm making a fairly long necklace. It ends up almost 30 inches with the pendant. And we should, with that, be at the same size as the other side. We're going to check it here real quick. Get the other one, we'll slide this down, lay these side by side and see if they are the same. So we have just making sure they're exactly the same so they hang correctly. Yes. So we have the same amount here. So what we need to do at this point is we're going to, I'm going to slide this up, and we are going to go through the crimp bead and the wire guard again on this one. Now on this side I have just a bead stopper, and they basically, it's just a little spring, and you just slide the end of your wire in there and it keeps your beads from coming off the end while you're working. So we are going to string on a crimp tube, a wire guard. We want to go through the tube on one side around the top, down through the other side, slide that up, and we are going to put both of those wires, except for we messed up. Try that again, Tim. Gracious. The crimp slid up. Pull that back out. There we go. Crimp tube down there. Through there. Now we got it going. Pull this up. Now slide. Crimp tube's wanting to fight me today. The end through the crimp tube. Remember to hold that up tight before you crimp it. You really don't want your wires crisscrossed inside that crimp tube. So you have it held up tight. You're going to lay that in the first notch. Squeeze it down so it's in a U shape. Turn it 90 degrees. Put it in the next slot. Crimp that down. I always flip it over and crimp the next side. Give it a tug, make sure it's tight. And then we're going to take our crimp cover, lay that in there, get a hold of it. And these often, you can kind of feel it snap in there. Once it's snapped in, you can slowly maneuver that closed. You can use your pliers to do it. You can use the rounded portion of your crimp pliers, whatever gets that closed over that. And so now we have the cover. Now we're going to slide our beads up, and we're going to get a couple of them up here. I don't know if that's going to go through that seed bead or not. And if not, that's perfectly fine. We can cut it off. Some of them it'll go through and some of them it won't. Nope, it doesn't want to go. Okay, so at this point, that's tight, that's done. We're going to take our flush cutters and cut it up against that bead. And then we're going to take the rest of our beads, pull them down. So that's going to be one end, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to take this off. We are going to string on a crimp tube. We're going to string on another one of the wire guards. Go through the tube. Down through, the other side. And back through that crimp tube. And I'm just going to stick it through a couple of beads down here. And see how it's coming out there. So we are going to push these down, all of this down, hold it, and I like to hold the end with my fingers. Hold my thumb is against this, so holds it tight, and just pull that excess wire until it comes down. Now when you're pulling this, you want to make sure that you leave enough space in there for your crimp cover. So we're going to push those down, push and pull, and it's just a matter of pushing and pulling and working it to the desired. See how I have this laying here circular? If I had this straight and I was pulling that tight, it would make this stiff and it would not lay well on your body when you wear your necklace. So you want to make sure that you've got that natural curve while you're tightening this down. So there we have a pretty good. We are going to grab our crimp pliers. We are going to lay that in that first groove, pinch it down, turn it 90 degrees, pinch it the other direction. I like to flip it over, pinch it the other direction. We are going to grab our crimp cover, lay that in there, pick it up. Going to use our pliers to just close that up. Both sides. Everything is nice and secure, so we can go in with our flush cutters and as close to that bead as possible. We are going to just snip that. And there we have this. So this is one side of our necklace. Here we have the other side. And we are going to, we have one more of those to do. We're going to hold this side by side. And we did not cut this end off yet. Oh, it just came out. That's what happened. Okay, we'll slide that back in there because we still have this other end to do. So that's in there. Everything's pushed down. So now we have that end's done, and we have one more end here to do. So once again, we're going to repeat the same thing that we just did. We are going to put on a crimp tube, let it fall down. We are going to grab another wire guarding. So this one, we want to go into one tube, go up and around, down into the other tube, down through our crimp tube, and a couple of beads. Is that going to go through there? Would be so nice if that went through there for us. Yes, it is. Just kind of have to maneuver it a little bit. Down through this rice bead. And I'm just pushing with my thumb until it comes out the other end so I can get a hold of it. And I'm going to pull, and we're back to the push and pull. So we want to just hold this and pull this down. And I lost hold of it. So hold this down and just pull this wire. Sometimes you just have to play with it and get it down there. Making sure always that your other end is still where everything needs to be. This is still curved. We have this all here. So we're going to grab our crimping pliers. And if you don't have the crimping pliers, you can smash these flat. I think I said that before, but I'm just going to repeat it. In the first groove, go to the second groove at a 90 degree, smash that flat, flip it over, give it a good smush, grab our crimp cover, pop that over the crimp tube, use your pliers to smush it down. Just be really gentle here. Make sure that you don't put dents in that. You're just closing it, not squishing it. So I just like to work side to side slowly. And that way I don't lose that circular shape. Give everything a good tug. We're good. We are going to grab our flush cutters as close up against that bead as you can. Snip that. And now we have the other side completed. So what we have here is 2 sides to our necklace. And I'm going to slide these out of the way so I don't fling beads everywhere. So how this is going to lay is this is going to go into a V. Sorry. This is going to go into a V. We are going to attach these 2 pieces, and then we are going to attach all of this to our pendant. And this is where we need to decide if we want to do the heart connector or if we just want to do the circular connector. I think the heart connector. Yeah, we'll do the heart connector. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is take a heavy-duty jump ring, and we are going to connect. When you open a jump ring, you want to open it side to side, never pull. And we are going to hook our pendant, and then we're going to hook our heart connector. And just as you opened them side to side, you want to close them side to side. So we have, just focusing on this, down a little bit. So I have both sides of it. The elements are in there. And I am going to grab the other side and we are just going to twist it closed. So there we have the bottom portion. Now what we're going to do is connect each of these pieces right here. So there again with these, you want to turn it just like your jump ring, pull it out side to side, hook, maybe I didn't open it far enough. Don't know how those are going to, those aren't going to move very freely. All right, we're gonna revamp this plan. We are going to close that back up and we are going to grab some jump rings to attach those. So there we go. Change of plan. So here we are with the jump rings. Grab one side, get your other plier, side to side. We are going to hook into the component and the heart. We are going to side to side, close that. So what we have now is this. We are going to do the same thing on the other side. Grab another jump ring. Open it side to side. Hook your component onto there and put that on the other side of your heart. Get your other pair of pliers. And slide that closed. And sometimes with your jump rings, I'll pull it down a little bit, you have to kind of move them back and forth and just make sure that they're lined up really well and closed. So here we are. I do not know if I'm going to like how this lays, but we're going to try it and see. So there is our pendant component. So next we are going to hook two pieces of the necklace part that we made to these. So I think just to stay with the pattern that we're using, we're going to do that with a jump ring as well. So grab a hold, one side of your jump ring, other side with another pair of pliers, open that up, hook through your component, hook through your wire guard, other pair of pliers, side to side, close that up. There we have that. And then we are going to do the same thing on the other side. Open that jump ring, side to side, hook into your component, hook into the other side of your necklace, grab your wire, side to side, till they're lined up, and this is what we have. Kind of liking that. So what we have left down here, we have the other ends, and we need to attach our clasp. I'm going to put a heart-shaped toggle on here. So we are going to grab a couple more of those split rings. Same on the other side. Grab your jump ring, your other pliers, pull it open. That one is overlapping a lot. We are going to adjust that before we get all those things on there. See how that's really overlapped there? Let's get a different one. We don't want to be fighting that. All right. So when you go to close your necklace, you will slide this through, and that will hold it. So this is our gorgeous necklace that we created for one of my clients on Whatnot. I had made another one similar to this with a Luna moth with the moon phases, and she asked if I could make her one with a different pendant. So this is the one. I will leave a link below this video for Whatnot. I sell jewelry and jewelry making supplies on live auctions, and there with the link, if you sign up, you will get free monies to shop with your first purchase, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So please leave a comment if you have any questions. And I appreciate you all joining me for this. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.